Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Humans of Talos. Today we have Martin Lee with us. He is the Europe, Middle East, and Africa lead, or EMEA lead, here in Talos. Martin, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's been a busy day that has involved taking the dog to the vet and sorting out a minor doggy injury. But apart from that, we're
Oh,
we're we're all good.
oh, good. And yes, glad she's on the mend there. but first, can you kind of describe what you do here at Talos for people who might not know you?
Okay, so I suppose ultimately, my job is really kind of ambassadorial.
Mhm.
I still spend uh, less time than I used to, but I'm still researching the threat landscape. Certainly, understanding what are the changes that's happening in the threat landscape. But mostly, my job is to externalize that, both to write about the threat landscape, but also discuss what we're seeing, what's important, what's different with our customers and partners.
One of the really interesting things that I learned recently that I had no idea about was that you started your career in researching genetics of human viruses. That's one hell of a career change. Can you tell us about how you ended up where you are today?
Yeah, I discovered the internet. It's basically the short answer. So yeah, I discovered the internet very early on, and just thought this is going to be the biggest invention in my life, and I thought that yep, I if I didn't jump there and then, because I could see it was going to like explode and go everywhere, and if I didn't jump then, I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. So yeah, I left behind a career in academia to jump on board in the early internet and building it and building websites, etc.
I actually wrote about in my most recent newsletter that I'm one of the younger members of Talos, and so I was born in '98, kind of after all of this started. So it is so fascinating to me to hear about people who were around and out of college and all of this when the internet really started booming. So
Yeah, and then yeah, so it was growing massively through the mid to late '90s, which was awesome. And then you won't remember it because you were in nappies. There was the dot com crash,
oh yeah.
which was pretty rubbish. So I found myself with a young family.
Mhm.
Yeah, with less work than I wanted, and this job came up writing spam filters, and this was before spam filters. Certainly before spam was like a big problem. So I thought, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that sounds fun. Let's do that. And then we started detecting all of these weird and wonderful attacks that we were detecting, and yeah, started thinking, well, what on earth is going on here? And what we didn't know is we were detecting the first APT attacks. And in trying to
Wow.
work out what was happening and what we were seeing, that kind of launched the career. So here we are, over 23 years later, and yeah, cybersecurity has just grown massively. But it was entirely by accident that I ended up here.
Yeah, and I'm sure after all these years, like there are some aspects of the cybersecurity world that you're not as interested in, but like what's something about your current job that you really do love?
So I'm actually really grateful for Cisco to allow me the time to go and study for a doctorate. I've spent the last 20 something years looking at cybersecurity from a technical point of view, and we tend to think of it. We've got a bug in code, and we've got a vulnerability, and we've got exploit code and a threat actor that's exploiting the vulnerability. And that model has done really well for us, but I don't think it's the end of it. What I'm doing is taking a step back, and I want to look at cybersecurity from a sociological perspective. and to consider what is it about organizational cultures that distinguishes organizations that are incredibly hot on cybersecurity from those that are less so. There are decisions being made somewhere, and what I want to do is understand what those decisions are, so that we can fix it. So yeah, I'm really honoured that Cisco allows me the time to go and do that, and yeah, look at cybersecurity from a different perspective.
One of the questions that I always ask in these sessions is, what are you passionate about outside of work? But I really think I know the answer to that one. Every once in a while, our team gets a little photo dump and a video log of you in some like extreme climate somewhere doing some kind of marathon. What inspired you to start doing this, and why do you do it? Why do you put your body through that?
So yeah, I've got my medals behind me. So that's a London Marathon. That's a 50 mile. That's a 50K race. And actually, I haven't put it on the wall yet. That's my Arctic ultra. Yeah, it's a real break from for me. I love getting out into the countryside. Fairly late in life, I've discovered my thing is running slowly. I mean, very slowly,
Mm.
out in the countryside, and just getting away from technology and away from the computers and being uncontactable, out in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, little by little, the more remote and more challenging the environment, the more I get out of it.
Yeah. So you talked about the Arctic Ultra. How did you discover that? And what was it an easy decision to make to just be like, yeah, I can do that? Or did it take some more thought and
So
deliberation?
it wasn't my idea. So I have a running partner who I've talked into all sorts of stupid stuff over the years, and she just says yes without thinking about it too much. And then she said, "I want to run in the Arctic." And I was like, "Oh, really? Oh gosh, that's really outside of my comfort zone." And yeah, we found this race that looked at least feasible. There are some seriously hardcore races in the Arctic. The full version of the race that we did is 500 kilometers, which is an awfully long way. So we signed up for the 50 kilometer, so 30-mile race, which is, it's still a long way, but it's manageable in a day. Unfortunately, I injured myself in training for it, so I had to step down to the 25K distance. And it takes, you know what, it takes you in places that otherwise you would never visit. And northern Sweden in winter when it's covered in snow, it's not the first place that springs to mind, but being in that environment is just so beautiful.
I always ask this, save it for last. What advice would you give to someone who is pursuing this type of career in cybersecurity, maybe who wants to join a team like Talos?
Yeah, go for it. I think is the first bit. If it is your passion, you will do well. It's such a continuously evolving field. It's getting more and more important by the day in terms of consequences. There's more and more things that the bad guys can do to disrupt our lives and our societies. Yet at the same time, there's also more and more things that we can do to stop them. So if you are passionate in it, go for it. I mean, embrace it wholeheartedly. A couple of bits of advice. Certainly, if you wanted to join the outward facing part of Talos, be visible, write and give talks, even if it's like your local, hackers group or programmers group. With every talk that you give, you get slightly better. Same goes for writing. I always encourage people, yeah, write stuff. Have a personal blog. Write about the things that you're finding. Write about the things that you find interesting. Final bit of advice, though: flavor your life with many spices. don't just do cybersecurity. It can take over your life. Do other things, and you will be a much richer and more rounded cybersecurity researcher. So, yeah, embrace it full of passion, but also make sure that you're doing other things. And notably, move your body, look after your body, because after a few years, being sat at a desk tends to like not be a good thing.
What good advice. That's awesome. Well, Martin, it was such a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you like this episode, go check out our playlist on our channel. We have a special Black Hat episode coming out later this month, just before the conference. So please keep your eyes open for that and have a great day.